All right, we are live. All right, the link is sent. Welcome, whoever joined. And we will get started in just a few minutes. There. We have about 3 minutes before we'll get started. Hope everyone had a good week. It's a little cold here up in northern New York, but sun's out today. Happy to be healthy, back teaching some yoga, getting back into the swing of things. All right, we have about a minute more. We'll see if anyone else wants to jump on, and then we'll get started. Okay. Just wait a little bit more here. I hope everyone's having a great Saturday so far, even though it just started. Everyone had a great week. I'm so excited to be back on the mat teaching you all, practicing with you. I've missed teaching this week. This week I'm teaching more classes this coming week. So I'm excited to be back to a more regular schedule. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start today with some grounding and breathing. So go ahead, find a comfortable seat on your mat. If you want to prop your hips up on a pillow or a folded blanket or anything like that, if that's more comfortable for you, go right ahead. I like to, but it's not important. Stack your head over your heart over your hips. Feel a thread pulling the top of your head up to the ceiling for a little length in the spine. Place your hands on your knees, palms down if you need to feel a little more grounded this morning, palms up if you feel like you need to receive a little energy. Find a soft gaze in front of you, or let your eyes flutter all the way closed. Start to bring your attention inward. Start with the crown of the head and take a full scan of the body. Stopping at any point to take note of any spots in the body that might feel a little different today than they did yesterday or the last time you were on your mat. No need to change anything. No need to worry about anything. Just take note and then move on. When you've finished that scan, bring your attention to the breath, the rise and the fall of the belly with every inhale and every exhale. First, not changing anything, just taking note. How deep are my inhales and my exhales? Is one longer than the other? Again, not changing anything, just taking note. Relax your jaw, relax your eyebrows. Let your shoulders melt down at your sides. And now we're going to start to deepen that breath. Inhale, drop the belly, drop the diaphragm, belly expands forward. Exhale everything out. Belly button pushes back toward the spine. Again, inhale. Fill the belly up with air. Drop the diaphragm down toward the floor. Exhale. Release everything out. Belly button back towards spine. Take a few cycles of breath here. Deepening the inhale to fully expand that belly forward and diaphragm down. And exhaling everything out till you're completely empty. If it helps, you can place your fingers on your belly to feel the expansion and the retraction. On your next inhale, fill the belly just like before, and then take it a step further and let your rib cage expand, filling your ribs up with air. And then exhale, collapse the ribs, and let the belly button fall toward the spine. You can place your fingers up on the ribs if that feels good. Feel the ribs expand, and then collapse the ribs, belly button towards spine. A few cycles of breath here, filling the belly, then the ribs, and then exhaling from the top down. On your next inhale, complete that two-step breath. Fill the belly, fill the rib cage, and then bring it one step further. Inhale all the way up to the clavicle. Sternum lifts slightly to fill the chest with air. Then exhale all the way down. You can place your fingertips on your clavicle to feel the breath go all the way up. Continue that for the next few cycles of breath, filling the belly, expanding the rib cage, and then filling all the way up to the clavicle, and exhaling from the top all the way down. On your next inhale, complete this 3-part breath, filling the belly, the ribs, all the way up to the clavicle, and then hold the breath at the top for 3 seconds before exhaling from the top all the way down. We'll take a few cycles of breath here. And wherever you are in the breath, exhale all of your stale air out and let your eyes flutter open. Come back to a normal breath pattern and let's start warming the body up. Drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Let the right hand float all the way up to rest on top of the left ear. Left fingertips float down toward the mat. Feel that stretch of the side of the neck. And lift the hand, turn the nose in toward the armpit, place the hand on the back of the head. You should feel a nice stretch coming from right where the head meets the neck, all the way down through the shoulder, kind of toward the back, into the trap. And release your hand, bring your head back up to center. Pop the left ear down toward the left shoulder. Left hand rests on top of right ear. Right fingertips reach toward the floor. Just waking everything up, gently opening the neck up so that when we get into the more active part of class, we won't need to worry about getting hurt or worry about anything really other than the poses themselves. Lift the hand, turn the nose in toward the left armpit, and place the hand on the back of the head. Remember, it's just the beginning of class. We're still moving gently. No need to pull that head down. Gravity does the job. Lift your hand up, bring your head back to center. Inhale, root the sits bones down, arms reach up toward the ceiling. Exhale, arms float back down toward your side. Inhale, arms float up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms float down to the side. Add a little resistance here, like you're pushing down through water. Inhale, arms reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, arms float down, pressing through water or jello or whatever substance you want to make it this morning. Inhale, arms shoot up. This time, exhale, drop the right hand toward the right side and reach the left hand all the way over toward the right side for a side body stretch. Tilt the sternum just slightly up toward the ceiling, nothing crazy. Make sure that arm is tracking right over the ear and not curling forward. If it feels good, come down to the forearm and peel that left sits bone down into the mat for a side body stretch. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Stay up on the hand. And then your next exhale, come all the way back up. Inhale, float the hand up to meet it. Exhale, left hand drops to left side and right hand reaches over. Sternum turns slightly up toward the ceiling. Again, come on down to that forearm if it feels good and press that right sit bone down into the mat. Good, nice, beautiful side body stretch. And come on back up to center. Let both hands float down. Curl your fingertips out in front. Sit your sits bones back. Find length in the spine. And we'll bow forward. And crawl the hands back up. If you've taken something to sit on to lift the hips, pull that out. Go ahead, push that to the side, and we'll come to a neutral tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Let your gaze fall down at the mat in front of you, and we'll take a few cat-cows here. Inhale, drop the belly, shine the chest forward, hip points come back and up. Exhale, curl through the spine, chin to chest, tailbone tucked, cat pose. Take a few of these, breath to movement. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl through the spine. Really waking that spine up, waking the body up, getting ready. Very beautiful morning flow. We spent all that time in the beginning of class fostering those beautiful deep breaths. Make sure you're using those throughout your practice as we flow breath to movement. Making sure the breath is always at the forefront, because let's be honest, that's all really yoga is about. It's just an extended breathing exercise. Meet back in neutral tabletop. Wrists under, shoulders, knees under, hips. Curl your toes under. And we're going to lift the knees just 2 inches. Press down in through the hands. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine. Knit the low ribs in like you're wearing a corset. And drop the knees back down. We'll rest for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the knees. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine. We're here for 4. Keep breathing. 2, 1. Drop the knees. And we'll rest. You can rock back and forth, rock the hips side to side. I like to have a lot of movement in these first parts of class because we're still just waking up. All right, one last time. Lift the knees about 2 inches. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine for 4, 3. This time you're not going to set them down, but tilt your hip points back and up, downward facing dog. Press in through your fingers, through your knuckles to press out of the wrist. Find length in the spine. Look down at the floor in front of you. Hip points come back and up. Now take some time to set up here. Bend into one knee, then the other. Maybe lift one leg, then the other. Really set yourself up here. Bend both knees. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Press in through your fingers to lengthen your spine. Hip points come back and up. And let your heels drop back toward the mat. Beautiful, yogis. Look toward your hands and walk your feet behind your wrists. Ragdoll pose. Reach for opposite elbows. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Take a little figure 4 or figure 8 rather with your head. Oh, just let everything go. And then slight bend in the knees, release the arms and roll all the way up to a standing position. Head and neck being the last thing to come up. Inhale, arms reach up toward the ceiling. And exhale, hands at heart center. Press your palms together. Press your feet down into the mat, all 4 corners of your feet. Your legs should be so engaged that your thighs lift up off your knees. Belly button squeezes towards spine. Make this an active pose here. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and down your back. If you like to practice with an intention, feel free to seal that intention in now. My intention today, if you'd like to use it, is to be present in every pose. If you are not an intention practicer, just focus on the physical here. Make this your own. Make this practice be whatever you need it to be. And release our arms to the side. And let's take a little sun A. Inhale, sweep your arm up toward the ceiling, arms. Exhale, mini back bend. Hands come out to goalpost. Sternum lifts just slightly up toward the ceiling. Inhale, arms rise. And exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find a flat back, hands on shins or thighs. Crown of the head reaches toward the front of the mat. Tailbone reaches toward the back of the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, belly button towards spine. This is a really active pose here. Make sure you're always trying to flatten the back. If you can, if you want to touch the mat, you can, but that's not necessary. I would rather have your hands on your shins or your thighs and your back be flat than have you reach all the way down toward the floor. Beautiful. Release all the way down. Plant your hands and step all the way back into a plank position. Heels reach toward the back of the mat. Push up and out of your shoulders. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine. Low ribs knit in. We'll take a chaturanga here. Hinge forward about 2 inches. Elbows peel in toward the side. Lower to a half plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Chest shines forward, legs so engaged that the knees are up off the mat. And downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, hip points come back and up. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, step your feet behind your wrists. And inhale, root to rise. Press down into the feet. Engage the core, arms sweep up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hands come to your sides. And let's take that 2 times, breath to movement. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, mini back bend, sternum lifts. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten that back. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your hands high to low plank. Pin those elbows into the sides. Inhale, upward facing dog, knees engaged and lifted. Exhale, downward facing dog, hip points back and up. Inhale, look toward your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms sweep up toward the ceiling. Exhale, arms drop to the sides. Last time, inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, mini back bend. Sternum lifts. Inhale, arms reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, step, walk or jump your feet behind your wrists. We'll take a sun B here. Inhale, chair pose. Arms sweep up and sit back toward your hip, or sit your hips back toward your heels. See if you can sit just 1 inch deeper. Fingers shine up. Have your fingers spread wide. Let your gaze fall down at the mat in front of you. Chin slightly tucked to elongate the back of the neck. Squeeze your glutes back together. Keep those glutes active and press all 4 corners of your feet down into the mat. You got this. And release all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Plant your hands and step all the way back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Low lunge on the right. And because this is our first time, take a second. You can stack your hips and bend your knee. You can take some circles with the leg. Really take your time to set yourself up. And low lunge on the right. Pop the right leg in between the hands. And again, set yourself up here. Rock back and forth. You can rock the hips side to side. Plant your left hand, and we'll take a twist. Lift the right hand high. Keep those hips square to the front of the mat. And drop your hand back down. Beautiful. Drop your back knee down to the mat and sit back in for your half split. So you can crawl the leg forward if you have to, but make sure your hips aren't coming back out further behind your knee. So flex that front foot, square those hips, left hip crease pulls forward, right hip crease pulls back. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, float your nose down toward your knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, float down toward the knee. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, float. Roll back onto that front foot. Engage the back toes and lift the knees. Squeeze your abs in. From here, curl the belly or squeeze the belly button back toward the spine and come all the way up. Your high lunge. Manually place your hands on your hips. Let them face forward. Pulling left hip crease forward, right hip crease back. And let your hands float up when you're ready. Manually keep that back leg really active. That back leg's gonna want to bend in, your thigh is gonna want to be lazy. Squeeze the thighs in together and push the back heel toward the back of your mat. And float the hands back down and step back into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, lift the left leg high, and we'll take a stretch on the left. Take your time, stack the hips, make some circles, and sweep that left leg in through. And rock back and forth. Maybe rock the hips side to side. Plant your right hand. We'll take a twist, lift the left hand high. Really take advantage of this time before we flow to take whatever movement you need to feel open and comfortable when we flow. Let that hand float back down, drop the back knee, and we'll sit back into the half split. Remember, if you need to crawl that front foot forward, go for it. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. One last time. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release. Roll forward onto that foot. Lift the back knee. Squeeze the belly button to the spine and shoot up into our low lunge or high lunge on the left. You can manually pull that left hip backward, right hip forward. Engage the back leg. Arms float up if they're ready. Keep this active. We'll flow soon. Sometimes holding it, though, is much more of a challenge than flowing through it. And let the hands float back down to frame the foot and step back in to your downward facing dog. Let's flow through that sun B 2 times, breath to movement. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, step walker, jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, chair pose. Sit all the way back a little bit deeper than last time. Exhale, drop your hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, reset the spine. Exhale, chaturanga dandasana. Know that you can take a regular traditional chaturanga every time with an up dog to down dog. You can go right back to down dog. You can hold a plank and then go back to down dog. Do whatever you feel like you need during these. Inhale, float the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Sweep your leg between your hands. Inhale, drop your left hand into the mat. Exhale, twist, lift the right fingers high. Inhale, drop the legs back down. Exhale, drop the back knee and sit back into your half split. Inhale, move back forward. Exhale, sweep the hands all the way up. High lunge on the right. Inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, float all the way back down and step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, plant the right hand. Exhale, lift the left hand high. Inhale, drop that hand back down. Exhale, sit back into your half split. Inhale, roll forward, and exhale, pop all the way up into our high lunge. Inhale here, and exhale, come all the way down. Let's take a chaturanga here, high to low plank, or we can all meet in down dog. Inhale, look toward your hands. Exhale, step walker, jump your feet behind your wrists. Inhale, chair pose, sit back into your chair, arms float up to the ceiling. Exhale, float back down. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. Exhale, chaturanga of your choice. Upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. Inhale, drop the left hand. Exhale, twist right hands up toward the ceiling. Inhale, back down. Exhale, sit back into your half split. Inhale, roll back forward, and exhale, come all the way up to your high lunge. Inhale here, and exhale, arms float back down. Step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, plant the hand. Exhale, left fingers float up in a twist. Inhale, drop back down. Exhale, half split on the left. Inhale, roll forward, and arms float up. High lunge on the left. Inhale here, arms lift forward. Exit, shoot back down, and step back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, look toward the hands. Exhale, let the knees drop to the mat. Swing over onto one hip. Let come out in front of you. We're going to slowly lower all the way down to our backs. Arms out to the side. Getting down there is part of the exercise. Beautiful. When you're down, go ahead, pop your knees up over top your hips. Flex your feet so they're parallel with the wall. Pop your hands behind your head. We're going to take some yogi bicycles. On each exhale, you're going to bring the first one, you'll bring your left armpit toward your right knee. You don't want to bring the elbow, but the armpit to bring the whole body. Inhale, back center. Exhale, the opposite direction. Inhale, back center. Exhale, the opposite direction. To take it a little further, you can lengthen the opposite leg, but make sure your knees stay above your hips. All right, let's go. Check in with your knees. Are they starting to come in closer to your chest? Are you getting lazy? Are you moving your elbow and not your torso? If you need a little extra, on the exhale, make a shh sound to engage the abs just that much more. Shh. 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 We're not here much longer. You've got this, yogis. Shh. 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 And drop the head back down. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a squeeze. Beautiful. Pop your hands underneath, just like your fingers underneath your low back. There should be a little space for them in there. From here, flex your feet again, and we're going to just rock the knees from one side and then to the other. Squeeze the belly button toward the back, toward the spine. Still kind of working the abs, but also releasing the low back here. For a nice, gentle ab movement. Meet in center. Cross one ankle over the other, and let's start to rock back and forth. Bring the hands to the back of the thighs. And give your back, your spine a little massage. Start to gain some momentum. We'll come all the way up to a seated position. Plant the sits bones down into the mat. Bring your thighs flesh together, feet together. Come up on the toes, find length in the spine. Bring your hands underneath your thighs. We'll take a boat pose here, Navasana. Start to lean back. If your low back starts to collapse, that's more important than leaning back far. So if you need to keep your toes on the ground, keep your toes on the ground. If you'd like to lift them slightly, go ahead. You can also parallel your shins. If you want to take it even further, float your arms. Or straighten your leg if you've got that, but I can't do it without collapsing my low back, so I stay here. Try to find softness here, yogis. So keep your abs engaged, keep your low ribs knit in together, thighs together, but keep your face soft. You can let your fingers be soft. Feels a little counterintuitive, but it's a nice challenge. Go ahead, drop your toes to the ground, plant the hands behind you, and drop the knees from side to side. Beautiful. We're going to take that one more time. Plant those sits bones into the mat. Find length in the spine. Bring your hands behind your thighs. Start to lean back. Abs engaged. Lift the toes if you'd like. Lift the hands if you'd like. Stay engaged, yogis. You've got this. We're not here for much longer. Peel those thighs together. Peel is not the right word. Peel is pull away. But squeeze them together. All right, plant your hands behind you. Drop your knees, or drop your feet. Let your knees drop from side to side for a little windshield wiper glute booty massage. We're gonna cross the ankles and come all the way through to a tabletop position. Take one round of cat-cow here. Inhale, cow pose. Drop the belly, shine the chest forward. Exhale, curl through the spine. Just a reset. Find neutral tabletop. And then sit the hips all the way back toward the heels and then press them back and up into your downward facing dog. Just check in. Does your down dog feel a little different than your first down dog of class felt? Maybe yes, maybe no. It doesn't matter. Just check in with yourself. Go ahead, inhale, lift your right leg high, float it up toward the ceiling, and exhale, low lunge on the right. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine. Inhale, shine the arms all the way up toward the ceiling, high lunge. Bring the hands to heart center here. Hinge slightly forward, inhale. Exhale, twist on the right. Bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. You want to bring that sternum toward the side wall, going out and up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop your hands down to the mat. Step back into a plank, and we're going to roll over onto the left arm for a side plank. So you'll stack the feet on top of each other and shine the right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Your wrist should be right under your shoulder. If you want to pop that knee down for a little extra support, you can. If you want to lift the foot, if you want to try to take the toe and bring it up toward the ceiling, those are all options. Lift the hips just a little more up toward the ceiling. You got this, yogis. We'll come back to a plank and back into our downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the left. Inhale, hands shine all the way up, high lunge. Exhale, prayer hands. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, we'll twist on the left. Right elbow comes to the outside of left knee. Inhale, find length. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the hands. Now plant the right hand, step both feet back, and we'll roll into a half plank on the right. Left hands shine up forward. You can lift that leg, you can plant that bottom knee. Whatever you need right now, take. This side might feel a little different than the other side, and that is okay. Roll back over to plank. Lift your hip points back and up. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, low lunge on the right. We're going to pop all the way up into our high lunge. Beautiful. Hang out here for just a moment. Reset, square the hips. And we'll open up to a warrior two on the right. Back leg parallels the back of your mat. Arms shoot out to either side. It's our first warrior two of the class. Keep it active. Front knee tracking toward those outer pinky toes. Beautiful, yogis. Straighten the front leg. Sass that back hip back. And tick-tock the hands to 6 and 12 o'clock triangle pose. Then you can drop that back, that upper arm, to bring the back of your hand to your low back or to reach through to grab for that thigh. That feels good. But if you do, remember, the point of that is to pull your body open, to pull the sternum up, out and up. If you want a little more, shoot the hands all the way up, engage the core. So arms are shooting towards your head, which is coming toward the front of your mat. And release all the way down. We're going to come through to a wide-legged forward fold. From here, you can reach for opposite ankles. You can reach toward the back of the mat. You can take a bind, interlacing fingers behind your hips. Knuckles shine up toward the ceiling, and then release the chest toward the mat. And if you've taken the bind, release the hands back down. We're going to crawl the hands all the way to frame the other side of the mat. So bring your toes back forward with your heel going back, your toes forward, and we're going to take another high lunge, but to the left this time. Squeeze the belly button toward the spine. Ooh, if you lose your balance like I just did, that's okay. Square your hips. Take your time to set up here. And then open up to your warrior two on the left. Arms reach toward opposite walls. Pinky or knee in the front coming toward those left pinky toes. Gaze falls on your front fingertips. And straighten your front leg. Sass the back hip back. And tick-tock the hands to 6 and 12 o'clock. If you want to take the bind, only using it though to open your body more up to the side. Another thing you can do to do that is take your top hand and manually peel that back hip backward. Sometimes it's easy to take the bind without actually doing what the bind is intended for. If you'd like a little more in the abs, reach the arms up toward the direction of the head, those left toes. Squeeze belly button towards spine. Don't let your chest collapse down. And release all the way down. We'll come back to center. Come up onto your fingertips. Find length in the spine here. So really shoot the tail, just like we did in the beginning with flat back. Shoot the tailbone toward the back of your mat. Look down at the floor in front of you. Shoot your crown of your head forward. Really squeeze those shoulder blades together. Now slightly bend the knees. Belly button towards spine. We're going to lift all the way up. Bring the heels in and drop into a high squat. Take your time. Set up here. Bring your hands to the tops of your thighs, thumbs coming inward. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, left shoulder drops forward, right shoulder comes back. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we'll take it the opposite. Inhale, back to center. Drop it down low. Okay, squeeze through the abs. Squeeze here. Bring your hands all the way up to the ceiling and press down through your heels to lift all the way up. Beautiful. Look straight in front of you and step in. We're going to take a dancer's pose today. So here's how it's going to work. It's a balancing pose. You'll inhale, lift both hands high. Exhale, drop your right elbow to your right hip. I'm going to turn so you can see. Then kick your right heel toward your right hip and bring your hand to the inside or outside of your foot. Other arm is reaching up toward the ceiling. Really square your hips and press the back of your foot into your hand. So there's some resistance here. If this is enough for you, stay here. If you'd like, you can press that foot back into the hand, keep the hips square, and drop the other hand forward, starting to come forward. Remember, it's more about pressing your foot into your hand and lifting those together than it is about your chest moving down. Find a point on the wall to focus on. Try to keep those hips square. Wherever you are, inhale back up to neutral and exhale. Drop your feet down to the ground. And step side to side. Rock the hips side to side. Actually take a moment. Swing both hands to the left, then both hands to the right. Letting them kind of flop against your body. And we'll take that on the other side. So inhale, lift both hands up. Exhale, peel the left elbow down toward the left hip. Kick the left hip foot up. Grab for the inside or outside. Right arm shoots forward. Chest faces front. Press the back of the foot, the top of the foot rather, into the hand. Maybe start to come forward. If you lose your balance, that's okay. And inhale back up. And exhale, drop the feet. Beautiful. Just take a second. We'll take a few more of those twists. Releasing the back. Inhale, lift the arms up toward the ceiling. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find a flat back. And exhale, either come back into downward facing dog or take a chaturanga here. If you do, this will be your last chaturanga of class. High to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, pigeon on the right. Sweep the right ankle behind the left wrist. Crawl the left leg backward. Know that if your right hip isn't sitting flush against the floor, you can stick a pillow under there. Just make sure your hips are square. Inhale, find length. Exhale, put that pigeon to sleep. Either come to the tops of your hands, to the forearms, or come all the way down to the mat. Inhale, keep it active. Pull that right hip backward. Exhale, left hip crease forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, pull forward. If you want even a little more, you can press the top of that right foot down into the mat to engage your piriformis. And come all the way back up to the hands. You can place your hands on either side of your hips. Inhale, baby back bend, sternum lifts up toward the ceiling. Exhale, Plant the hands, flip the back toes, and we'll come back up into a down dog. Option to swing that right leg back. Option to let it hang in front of you. And we'll meet down in down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, pigeon on the left. Left ankle comes behind right wrist. Walk the right toes backward. Again, if that hip doesn't come all the way down to the mat, slide a pillow down underneath to really square those hips. Inhale, find length. And exhale, put that pigeon to sleep. Inhale, left hip crease comes back. Exhale, right hip crease forward. Inhale, pull back. Exhale, forward. Remember, you can always push the top of that left foot into the mat for a little more engagement here. Beautiful. Come all the way up. Bring hands to both sides of your hips. Mini back bend. Sternum lifts up toward the ceiling. And plant the hands down on the mat. Flip your back toes under. We'll take a down dog. Any way you like. Leg in the air, leg out front. And you're going to lower all the way down to the mat. So you're on your belly here. Pop your fingers or your hands, tops of your hand down. Bring your chin to the mat. And on the next exhale, lift just your sternum, your arms, and your legs. Feel your hip points pressing it down into the mat. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Tuck the chin slightly to lengthen the back of the neck. And drop down. Let one cheek come to the side. Let's do that one more time. Exhale. Lift your legs, lift your arms. Really push those hips, push those hip bones into the mat. And release. If you'd like to take it one step further, kick your heels toward your hips and reach for the insides or outsides of your leg. Squeeze your thighs together. And on the exhale, press backs of the hands, feet into the hands, and lift them up toward the ceiling. If this is too much for you, go ahead and take the same thing we took again. And lower back down to the mat. Bend your knees. Let your feet drop from side to side. You can put your forehead on the mat. Rock it back and forth. Third eye massage. Beautiful. Press into your hands and come all the way up onto your knees. Rock over onto either the right or left hip. From here, legs come out straight in front of you. Plant the hip bones down into the mat. Sweep the arms up, lengthen the spine. Inhale, exhale, melt down over your legs. Grab for backs of thighs, your ankles, or your feet. And let's inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, pull a little deeper. Inhale, find length in the spine. Exhale, pull a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, this time just melt the body down. Shake the head, yes. Shake the head, no. Really release the neck here. You'll probably feel it right in the mid-back. A little figure eight with the head. Slowly stacking the vertebrae. Roll all the way up. And then slowly melt all the way back down to lay on your back. Pop the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. Let's rock back and forth here. Really releasing that low back. We just did a lot of back work, so give it a massage. Show it some love. It just worked hard for you. Beautiful. Stamp your heels down on the mat and curl your heels as close to your hips as you can get them. Snuggle your shoulder blades underneath your chest. Drop the heels down into the mat and lift the hips up toward the ceiling.
Bring the chest toward the chin up toward the ceiling. Heels actively moving down, ankles or shins actively pushing toward the front of your mat. You should feel your quads engage. Option to take a bind here, interlace fingers underneath your hips. Remembering that that is just an option and not necessary. Keep it active. If you've taken the bind, release your hands. And let's everyone roll onto the balls of the feet and roll all the way down, vertebrae by vertebrae from the top down. Drop the knees from side to side. Beautiful yogis. We're going to take one more bridge here. If you would like to go into full wheel pose, if that's in your practice, go ahead and take that right now, but I'm going to cue bridge again. So drop the heels down toward the mat, hips shine up toward the ceiling, chest to chin, chin toward ceiling. Look at, there's a piece of fruit in between your chin and your chest. You can take the bind if that feels good, interlacing fingers underneath your hips, snuggling those shoulder blades even closer together. Heels actively push down, shins actively push toward the front of your mat. Feel those quads engage. If you've taken full wheel, start to come out. If you've taken the bind, let your fingers go. Let's roll onto the balls of the feet and roll vertebrae by vertebrae from the top down. Rock the knees from side to side and welcome the knees all the way into the chest. Pull your right knee into your right armpit and let your left leg go long. Inhale, knee to armpit. Exhale, bring the right knee across the body, stacking the hips. You can open your arms out to a T or to goalpost arms. Face shines up toward the ceiling or looking toward your right fingertips. You want 2 points of contact here. So it could either be the knee on the ground and the left shoulder, or it can be both shoulders and the knee floats. Or if all 3 touches, that's okay, but you want at least 2. And try to find some softness here. We've worked hard all class. Now it's time to let it all go. Hug that knee back into your chest. Give it a squeeze. Bring your left knee to meet it. Squeeze left knee to left armpit and right leg goes long. Inhale, squeeze knee to armpit. Exhale, bring the knee across the body. Let the arms come out to goalpost arms or a T. Gaze at the ceiling or at the left fingertips. Again, keep this soft and gentle. You've done your work. You've engaged the muscles. And now it's time to let gravity have its turn to do its fair share of the work. And guide that knee back into the chest. Bring the other knee to meet it. Squeeze both knees into your chest. If you need to take anything else here, anything else you feel like your body needs before we go to our final resting pose, go ahead and take it. Or follow me, bringing your forehead toward your knees. Squeeze every muscle in your body for one last final active push. And exhale, final Shavasana. Let your feet fall open, feet splayed to the side, palms at your sides, facing the ceiling. Relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw. Let your shoulders sink down into the mat for our final surrender. And final Shavasana is yours for as long as you'd like it. Feel free to shut your phone or your computer off and take as much time here as you need. But if you're ready to be guided out, start to bring some gentle movement to your fingers and your toes. Some circles to your wrists and your ankles. Rock the head from side to side. Feel the mat or the ground underneath you. And listen for any sounds around you to welcome the world back into your present reality. When you feel ready, sweep the arms up overhead, reach arms and feet in opposite directions for a long full body stretch. And roll over to the left or right side, using the bicep as a pillow. Take just a moment, check in with yourself, check in with how you're feeling. Final Shavasana marks the death of our practice. Here in fetal pose, represents the new life that we bring off of our mats and out with us into the world. Go ahead, using the strength of your hands, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to heart center in prayer pose. The love, the light, the teacher, and the student in me honors the love, the light, the teacher, and the student in you. Bring your hands to third eye center and bow forward. Namaste. Well, thank you so much to everyone who joined this morning. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm so grateful to be back teaching. I hope you enjoyed this class and have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy this beautiful Saturday. And I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central for restorative on your mats. So thanks. Namaste. Goodbye, everyone.